Welcome to the dumbest smart guy podcast on the planet. This is the Central Unintelligence Podcast. Oh, yeah. Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new episode of your favorite politics, geopolitics, and world events podcast, Central Unintelligence One Podcast, CUP. My name's Josh, and I'm here today with good buddy Frank.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. And I'm also here with our special guest, Rueben.
Hello.
Otherwise known as Rueben. He'll probably fall asleep during this podcast, so if you hear snoring, it's definitely him. All right, so just send him all your hate mail at rubenyo.com. All right, that's... Anyways, today we're going to talk about the shortest martial law that ever happened.
Is it?
I feel like it's got to be. I can't... There's no solid statistics on how long martial law has lasted in a lot of countries when it's been declared. Like
literally everything that could have gone wrong to make martial law happen went wrong.
But then everything that went wrong for it to be taken back also went wrong. So like everything went wrong on both ends of the thing.
Everything went right for the people who wanted to stop martial law.
Yeah. So we'll talk about it. Before we get into it, if you want to follow us on social media, it's at Game Rage Magazine, Twitter. What's the other one? Well, fuck, man.
X.
No, it's not that. It's Game Rage Magazine on Instagram, YouTube. I'm not going to be able to say TikTok very long because that's going to be gone, which I will talk about on probably even, who knows, maybe another episode. I don't know. But for now, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Game Rage Magazine, like, comment, subscribe, and follow. Also, you can go to Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. And if you like anime, you can follow Frank at anime_syndicate_podcast on Instagram. And you can go check out the Anime Syndicate podcast, which is doing pretty good for us right now. So anyways, all right. So, Jesus, what the fuck was that?
Your face.
So a few days ago, South Korea. So the people that don't know, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you know. But a few days ago, the South Korean president declared martial law in the wee hours of the morning, or I guess it was the evening there. It was the wee hours of the morning our time, but I think it was evening time there, and declares martial law under what the guise was that there's too many damn communists and people that are sympathizing with North Korea and the communists, and they're trying to take over the government, and I'm declaring martial law so we can get rid of these assholes. All right, is what it was under. So that happened,
but nobody believes that.
I don't necessarily believe that, but I mean, who knows? Maybe it was true. Who the fuck knows? But if you were trying to take over the government, and there was the people that were trying to do it, this would be a way to stop them. However, This was all horribly executed, and therefore it didn't go as planned. So he does the martial law. Okay, what we fucked up on. He should have done this in the middle of the night or their time. He should have done this like at fucking like midnight or 1 a.m. when there's no one at their parliamentary building or whatever, and it's just gone. Right, no one's there because then they can't get together. So what ended up happening is he declares this. There were still a bunch of, I think they're called MPs. The parliament, like they're calling them MPs or whatever. I don't know what the fuck that stands for, but Minister of Parliament or something like that. I think so. There's a bunch of they're like senators and representatives, right? That's their function.
That's basically how I described it.
Yeah. So they're still there in the building for some reason because it's not like super late at night. It's like maybe like 8 or 9 o'clock at night or whatever. It's like not super bad. There's still a bunch of them there. So then they're like, "Oh, this motherfucker did what?" Like they start getting alerts and saying that martial laws have been declared and all this shit, so that they thought it was a joke. Like they thought, oh, this is just some bullshit. We're getting hacked or whatever, China's fucking with us. And then they turn on the news and like, oh no, there's this address where like the South Korean president is legitimately declaring martial law to purge the government of all communists and pro-communist people. So they're like, oh shit. Well, one of the things that's different about the South Korean version of martial law is the South Korean parliament, if they get together and they just majority vote to end it, they can end martial law. And the reason this exists is because back when they were having the split and stuff like that with North Korea, South Korea went through this phase of like semi-quasi dictator type dudes who would just, when their time for power was about to be done, they would essentially declare martial law and then just purge the government of anybody who was like anti them staying in power. So they learned from that mistake and they said, okay, you know what? We're going to build a check and balance into the system where, hey, if the president can declare martial law and whatever he wants, that's fine. But if Parliament gets together, they can say, no, you have to stop it. And then by law, it ends immediately. All right.
Do we have something like that here?
We do not have that. That is not a provision in our system. It is essentially the president. I think they can. I mean, they could call a vote, but like, I don't think that Congress can actually call it back. I mean, Congress has the power under certain instances to impose martial law, but federally, the president is the one who can declare it here in America. And then it's up to the states' governors to declare martial law in their local area.
Like Newsom keeps threatening.
Right. To then go ahead and basically.
He didn't threaten. He did do it right during the fires.
Yeah. So, essentially, when they did this, they fucked up because they sent Korean special forces to Parliament to shut it down. What? No, they sent like their tier 1 units, or I don't know if they have whatever their equivalent of that would be.
I mean, I'm no mathematician, or what'd you call this?
Historiologist.
Historiologist.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure a squadron of Marines full of liquor would have fucking took the Parliament building within an hour.
Well, probably. But what I'm saying is okay, because listen, we do have a very close working military relationship with South Korea, right? It's extremely close.
We're totally giving them the best training that we keep secret.
But like, we're giving them good training. We're not giving them bullshit like we're giving everybody else. Like we're giving like Uganda or whatever, right? We're giving them the good shit, the good training, the good stuff. Their special forces are not, I don't think, and again, they may have 1 or 2 units that are tier 1, like considered tier 1 special forces, special operations.
Look, I'm just saying they made the Russians look good.
Well, I wouldn't say that because they were in a situation where they didn't get there in time, obviously. And then there becomes a point of like, okay, what do we do here? Because yes, the president has declared martial law and he's told us to go shut down Parliament. And see, this is what makes me think this for sure was a power grab to purge the government of any of his enemies, was for the pure and simple fact that he also said any gatherings for political or parliamentary purposes are hereby now banned. So he banned under martial law the thing that would allow the Parliament to reverse his martial law. The only reason it didn't happen is because they didn't, which I don't understand why you wouldn't have sent the military there first, because you can declare martial law and not tell anyone. So, or delay your telling of this. So if this was your plan, and obviously, and this is the thing, the military was on board for this, obviously. The South Korean military was 100% on board. So I don't know why you wouldn't have said, okay, let's send the special forces to Parliament, tell them there's been an emergency, everyone needs to leave, and you get them all out. And then you shut down the building, right? Then, once that's clear and good, you tell them to go to their homes. More information will be forthwith. Then, after that's done, then the president goes on TV and has the full declaration of martial law. And then the Parliament cannot meet and get together to then, override your martial law, right? That seems like the common sense thing to do, I would think. But anyways, they didn't do that.
That's the thing, though. The ground level of this fuckery, like, everyone's saying that we had a hand in this, that we were directing him to do this and that and this. And normally I would say, oh, but look at how this happened. That proves that there's no way.
No, because we would have already thought of that.
But I'm saying, in this situation, because they just fucked up on every fucking level, that makes me think both sides are true.
Yeah.
Because only the government can fuck up like this.
Yeah.
But only the government knows how to take away your rights.
Right, exactly.
So it's like,
yeah. So then they go to the building and they're now trying to pull people out and they're like, oh no, fuck you guys. We're not coming out. Go fuck yourselves.
they fought them with fire extinguishers.
And again, you have obviously what are supposed to be high speed, well trained special forces guys, okay, going into this building, yes, quote unquote, but higher level of training than your average guy, right?
I'm not saying the South Korean Special Forces suck. I'm just saying I don't think this was the Korean Special Forces.
I mean, that's what they said they sent, so I don't know. But anyways, so they claim they send them over there.
They're too busy watching Kim Jong-un.
No, that's true.
Or what's his name?
Yeah, Kim Jong-il. Or no, it's
Kim Jong-sung?
No, it's Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-il was his dad.
That's what I said.
Oh, it's Kim Jong-un is the guy.
Yeah.
So anyways,
Song was the last one, right?
Il-sung was the original guy, and then Kim Jong-il was the dad.
The son of
that guy. And then Kim Jong-un is the son of Kim Jong-il, yeah. But anyways, so they do that, and they're like fighting about fire suit, and then you get into the situation where you're like, all right, do we just kill these people to enforce martial? Are we willing to do that? Like, and I don't, who knows what would have happened, but of course, news cameras were already there, right? Already, so they're like, I don't think we can shoot these people.
Like I was telling you, if they would have opened fire, then the U.S. would have had to have gotten involved. But that would have been the tricky part on the United States, on us, because we probably wouldn't want this to happen. But at the same time, we can't, as the world police, can abide by human right violations.
Right, in that manner, yeah.
Yeah.
So it would have been a sticky situation for sure. But either way, okay, obviously we got lucky. Nobody shot any fucking civilians or parliamentarians, but
parliamentarians?
Yeah, whatever the fuck they're called. I don't know. Fuck parliaments, all right? Anyways, so they have this setup and they're like, fuck it, we're locking the doors and we're not gonna let them in. So there's videos of these dudes.
Dude, not only that they locked themselves in. I mean, we brushed over it, but the fucking maintenance staff and people were fighting them off to buy them more time.
Yeah, exactly. And you had a bunch of people go there and start protesting immediately. Like the South Koreans got their shit together when it comes to like, oh, you're not going to fuck our rights, buddy. We're going to fuck. We already don't have many rights to begin with. So we ain't going to let you suspend them just willy-nilly here.
What pisses me off is that this happens to like a week or two after they put up that giant capitalist middle finger to North Korea.
Yeah.
When they built a fucking tourist walkway where you can look into North Korea with a fucking Starbucks.
Yeah.
So the North Koreans can look at the capitalist South enjoying coffee going,
look at those pores. So you have all that happening and the military's like, I don't know if we could shoot these assholes, but it's going to be on TV and that's probably not a good look. So they're like, all right, so they're trying to break into the building. They're like breaking out windows and like there's a bunch of videos of them doing that, breaking windows and going in there. So they finally get in there. And the second they get in there, the vote had just passed to end martial law. So they're like, guess what, bitch? We just did it. And then they're like, oh, I guess we can't do anything then.
Didn't the lady literally say you can go now?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So then the military's like, okay, well now martial law's over. We can't do shit. So they fuck off. And it then forced the president to rescind and declare martial law over. Now, that whole process took just under 6 hours.
Yeah,
it was how long martial law was in the process.
I'm just saying, if it was our government, 6 hours they are still discussing. They're already on their way to jail. Biden's taking over.
Yeah, right. Yeah, whoever the president is, right. And so one of the things that was very interesting about this whole situation, one of the things that I thought was the most alarming, and this is where, like, you get all these people when they talk about whichever side, it doesn't matter. We're not even going to use Biden or Trump as an example.
I was just saying to be relevant.
Yeah, but it's caused controversy. But what I'm saying is, like, let's say you have any president and they declare martial law, and the military then has to enforce that martial law and do whatever, right, to enforce it. Everybody always says, all the people say, oh, the military is like they're our moral compass and they will not go along with this unjust thing. Well, here is a prime example of a first world country where the military went along with it 100% to enforce martial law as it was said. And
to be fair, though, to be fair, they didn't raise their arms on civilians.
Correct. Now, they didn't, but they were going in there to stop them from voting, from stopping, to do what the martial law said. Now, I don't think we were at a level where they were like, okay, we're going to shoot people yet, but I think if they would have went in there before the vote took place and they would have refused to disperse, we might be having a different conversation right now. But because they had already ended it, once they got in there, now it's like, oh, there's nothing we can do now. We have no authority anymore. So to the people that say, oh, the military would never, there's always people who will go along with shit. Because, again, you're told this is what your orders are. You're not given the full picture. You're not even really told most of the time why you're doing this. And that's inherently how the military operates. And if you have, a few 3 or 4 generals that want to, hey, like, this could be good for us in terms of like how we could be set up if we go along with this, they'll pass that down because each one of those guys is probably in charge of, 30,000 or 40,000 dudes.
Yeah, because most people don't realize that most our generals, specifically the United States, essentially our generals are warlords.
Yeah, for the most part.
The way the military is structured, our military is structured, they're warlords that answer to each other. Yet nobody.
Yet also the president.
Yeah, it's
which is crazy. So, but that's how it works.
To be more accurate, that's how it doesn't work.
Right. Yeah. So, I think this was, I don't know. And like we would talk about like, oh, was this like a test run for something? I kind of feel like it was. For what? I don't know. And also, I do think because at the same time as this happening, we also have all the European countries going into this strife and this upheaval amongst their own governments. And one of the things that I have been kind of talking about, and I alluded to it on the last episode me and Adam did, but I said I was going to talk about it more specifically on this one when we did this, talking about South Korea, was the fact that like the battle lines are being drawn, right, for whatever the next major conflict is going to be, whether it's World War III proper or whatever, right? The battle lines are being drawn and they're getting drawn deep and they're starting to really shape up what the conflict sides are going to look like. And one of the things that people kind of, I think we tend to forget, and I think everyone in general just tends to forget, that the reason why America is number one, right? Why we're the world superpower. It's not because we have the best ideas. It's not because we have the best technology. It's not because we have the best anything. We're number one and an empire for the last 150 years or whatever. Not because of any of that, but because of the pure and simple fact that we are willing to conduct violence to impose our will, and we do it at the drop of a hat, right? That's the reason why we're number one. I think people at home here in America have forgotten that. I also think there's an aspect of some of the world that has forgotten that. Our enemies have forgotten that. Now,
because we're letting them.
Well, our allies, I think, and this is the thing, is allies of the past, I think that they're starting to, like, you got the French, the British, you got all the European. I think they're starting to say, hey, if some shit were to happen to America,
we'd be in a prime spot.
We'd be in a prime spot as long as we didn't help. We could just stay out of it and say like, oh, we can't send you guys help or we can't do anything because we're over here dealing with our own problems. And I kind of have come to the conclusion 100% the next fucking shit that pops off, if we as Americans get in trouble, we are likely on our own, like as a country, right? Like,
but that's always been the case.
Yeah, but people have been allied with us and helped us because it's been to their benefit. This time around, I think everybody knows that if
why are our aircraft carriers so big?
Why?
What are we compensating for?
Yes, weak allies. Yes, I know. All right, hold on.
What were we talking about last?
We were talking about the...
Oh, you think that America was going to lose?
No, I didn't say we were going to lose. I was just saying I think we're going to be on our own. Like, that was what I was saying. And that I think if something happens... Because, we also had, like, that whole... The Chinese telecom hacking and all that shit. I mean, listen, they're in our shit. Like, they're in all of our shit. That's just the problem. So... if they turn our shit off, we're going to have a problem here. Right? Like there's going to be a problem. Like it's not just going to be like everybody's going to be cool and just chill like in Japan when the earthquake happens, like and Fukushima's fucking irradiating everybody. The Japanese are just standing in line, orderly, waiting for food. That's not how it's going to be here. And no one's going to help us. We're just on our own, I think. And as a matter of fact, I'm sure many other countries would take advantage of that and try to, do something about it. But I don't know. This thing in South Korea, it's over now. Now they're trying to bring up the president on charges of treason. They've already tried to vote to do that, and that failed. That didn't pass. So I don't know what the next steps are going to be for them, but it's likely going to be bad. I think that at a time, and this is like at a time when we need our allies to be firm and strong, they're all having internal problems right now. And it kind of sucks. They're either having internal problems or they're fighting like a war on multiple fronts vis-a-vis, i.e. Israel, right? That's our ally. They're not really having that big of a problem at home, but they're fighting wars on multiple fronts. So that is a problem.
But that isn't something new for them.
No, it's not. But it takes them out of the fight to be able to help us with whatever we need, right? Because they need to focus on themselves. Whereas everyone else could help us, but they have their own problems internally they can't fucking figure out. So anyways, I don't know, but that's about it. What else you got? You got anything else about this South Korean thing?
No.
All right. Well, that was good. We got 21 minutes out of it. So anyways, all right, well, we'll end this episode and then we'll go to the next one. So if you want, go to Game Rage Magazine on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Like, comment, follow, subscribe. You can also go, Jesus Christ, cat. Hey, shh. You can also go to, Jesus. You can also go to Game Rage Mag on Twitter/X. Follow Frank and Anime _syndicate _podcast. And that's it. We'll call us one at the end with Callie fucking yelling and screaming in the background.
That was the latest episode of the Central Unintelligence Podcast. Don't forget, subscribe and like on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine. We're also on Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Also our website, www.GameRageMagazine.com.